That's right, guys. For Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, Miami signals a full circle moment. He was born and raised here in South Florida, and as he gets ready to play potentially his final game for Georgia in the Orange Bowl, he reflects on the journey he took to get here.
Rosemy-Jacksaint, touchdown, Georgia.
I know the history that it took to get to where I'm at, you know. The work from Rosemy and then the work from Jacksaint added all the work. It's like two different segments of my life. When it was just Rosemy, it was this segment. And now it's Jacksaint, it was the second part of my life. Put together, that's how I think of it.
Names are like stories. They identify, they inspire, and they symbolize. For Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, that path of where he comes from started right here on this field.
Stay with him, stay with him, stay with him, stay with him, stay with him. Good job, boy. He was a tall kid, didn't know what he could do. He listened, he was like a sponge. He wanted to play the game, wanted to work real hard.
Johnny met Marcus Rosemy when he was just 11 years old. A coach for the Coral Springs Chargers, Johnny and his wife ran a training program called Team Go Get It, a team aimed to help kids learn the fundamentals of football and offer a support system for those that might not have one.
On the hop, on the hop, on the hop, let's go, move it. Not having a father in my life, that just kind of pushed me to wanting to help young men do what they love and also teach them about life. And I feel that God called me to help as many kids as I can through the game of football. First down, ball right here.
Growing up, Marcus begged his parents to let him play football, but had no luck. His mom died when he was 6 years old, and he spent the next years moving between houses and looking after his younger siblings and cousins.
For me, life was pretty much staying in the house, watching kids, because I was the oldest. I ain't really go outside that much. I ain't really get to play, and I do the things you do as a kid. I just had to learn how to grow up fast.
After moving to Coral Springs and living 5 minutes away from a football field, Marcus was finally allowed to give the sport a try and met Coach Johnny.
So he came home and he's like, I met this kid, you know, he's of Haitian descent. We need to help him. I just feel like I've been called to mentor him and help him.
I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't plan. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna help this kid out. It looks like he got potential to be good. He didn't really have much of a support system in his family, so I'm like, let me help him out.
Training sessions between the two became frequent, and Marcus and the Jacksaint family grew closer.
After the games, he had started to come over to the house. He was going from hanging out for a couple of hours to hanging out, you know, overnight. And he just became a part of our family, like I said, organically.
Like, we got so much in common. They could really be my biological blood parents.
When Marcus's father fell on hard times, Johnny and Tiffany offered to take Marcus in.
We looked at him as like he was our son anyway, because we was always around him. He was always around us. He was at the house. It was like a glove. It just fit perfect.
My children had already adopted him like a big brother already. So it was like, sure, I mean, of course.
Bro, I thought it was a mic.
The hardest change was like stop calling him coach to Pops. That was the hardest change for me.
Marcus attended St. Thomas Aquinas, and after committing to Georgia, needed legal guardians to sign the paperwork. And that's when the Jacksaint family officially adopted Marcus.
He was gonna be Marcus Jacksaint. And I was like, you know, all of his highlights, all of his history was in Rosemy, and that's still a part of who he is. So I was like, let's just hyphenate it. And he was like, that's a great idea. And I was like, listen, you're gonna have one of the coolest names in college football.
Rosemy-Jacksaint has the touchdown.
I don't know, it just, I'm part of the family now, so why not take the name too? No.
Now entering perhaps his final game in a Georgia uniform, the name Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint perpetually lives in red and black.
When you rank leaders at Georgia, there's been some great ones since we've been here in terms of the command and respect that they've earned by what they've been through and what they've done, and he would be right there at the top of those guys.
The whole story, the whole situation, I think it just, like my wife says, destined to happen. Like the way I got brought up, it just kind of fit perfect where it was the right thing to do.
The irony of it all is he's been a bigger blessing to us than we could ever be to him. He was that additional piece to the puzzle that made our family complete.
You know, they really changed my life. They're the reason why I'm in this point right here. Because of the things they did behind closed doors, nobody seen the sacrifices they made for me. The only thing I can do is try to give back for what they've done. And that's my plan. just to give back for what they done.